Hello guys, welcome to, I think for now, last episode of the series about Yazhi, and we are going to finish with some anecdotes, mostly from the past years. One of them, a really funny one, from this year, from the beginning of this year. And yeah, I would like to be able to share more about Yazhi, and I will at some point. But for now, this is the last episode. This is going to be just fragments of different anecdotes, different things that Yazhi said or conversations. Some fragments very, very short, some fragments longer. A conversation with Athena where she's describing one of the mischiefs that actually Yazhi was doing with Mari Swaruu at the time, Mari Sva now. But let's start with the teleportation. As you know, Yazhi likes to teleport everywhere around the ship, even outside the ship, yes. And as she said, she likes to teleport, or at that time, she liked to teleport to the bathroom at night. And to the bathroom at night, where she needed to go to the bathroom. So here in this short paragraph, she's going to say why she likes to teleport. She liked in the past to the bathroom at night. November 2020.
I don't bother walking to my own bathroom. I teleport there, and it is only a few meters away. I have powers, as they say, but one of those powers, so to speak, is not super strength. I have the strength you would expect from a body like mine, and I do get lazy to walk. But mainly, if I walk to the bathroom, I feel I will wake up. If I teleport, I go to sleep faster again. I don't like to go to the bathroom at night. I like to sleep all night long. But sometimes you just can't. And teleportation is less effort for me than walking. And in that sleepy state, even easier.
Yes, makes sense. I would probably do the same if I knew how. Now the question is, do you appear in your bathroom seated on the toilet already or standing?
I have done both, but I am worried to pee on my bed in case I did not teleport. So I prefer to stand up, then teleport to the bathroom, arrive there standing up, and then sit on the toilet. Because if I'm sitting on the bed and I teleport like that, sitting on the toilet, I may make a mistake.
Makes sense. So that's cute, that's funny. Now I asked Yazhi several months ago when I was doing the updates for these stories if she still does it, if she still goes to the bathroom teleporting instead of walking. And she said, I'm going to read this here from the conversation, I can, yes, sometimes I do, but other times it's easier to walk there. And why she started walking? Because she said, sometimes when I'm half asleep, I can end up somewhere else, like another bathroom. I can. But I asked, okay, but did that happen? And she says, yes, it happened. So she ended up in someone else's bathroom. Whose bathroom? I asked. This was Mari's bathroom. And Mari was angry. So Yazhi can mix those mistakes, apparently. So she prefers to just walk now to the bathroom, as far as I know. Throughout the years, there were all kinds of different situations and stories she would tell us. Like, for example, when we were doing a video series on nuclear weapons, for example. Well, Yazhi got inspired, I guess, by that topic at the time, and she was making these sticky bombs everywhere. I don't know, that's what it was, sticky bomb from Spanish, translated. And she was just placing them somewhere around the stairs. They were like exploding or something. Nothing major, but that's what she was doing. So There are all kinds of stories like that. I'm unable to compile all of them for you. But the major theme of all these different anecdotes and stories and mischiefs is that the Taygetans are very afraid that she would get hurt, because many times she does get hurt. It's just that she doesn't care, or she says she's going to be okay, but she does get hurt, and that's why her Taygetan friends are always afraid and always watching where she is. And more about that in the later anecdote today. Here in this fragment, this is from 2019, very first months of her arrival, she was playing a lot alone. Mari wasn't there yet, and she got really badly hurt, and she will explain here what happened.
October 2019. I am getting my hip taken care of by the Andromedans. I am in a wheelchair for now. I almost crashed again on the ship's ramp. I went backwards with the wheelchair. I have a crack in my hip, very painful. I will be treated with frequencies with an energy laser, but it will take time to heal. I have a special tight brace and a splint on my wrist. I also have 2 bruised ribs. How I got this? I was just imagining that I was skating with 2 killer robots behind me. That's why I was moving so fast. I was having so much fun, but I think I broke my hip. It hurt so much. It keeps me awake. And on top of that, I have to wear this thing that looks like a huge hard diaper that squeezes me and is uncomfortable. Andromedans ask me why I didn't use immersion to play that, but I tell them I like it better the old-fashioned way, with my imagination, and that's it.
So after that situation, I do remember that Yazhi actually put herself in the pod. That was a strange moment because she put herself in the pod. We didn't know, we were somewhere on a trip for a few days, and she had to put herself in the pod. We didn't know, and I was worried about her, and then we found out. Anyway, she put herself in the pod for a while because she was in so much pain. And then Mari arrived in 2021, so they started playing together, and Mari was only 13 years old. She was a bit shy, insecure, and she found this little sister Yazhi on the ship, so they were doing all kinds of adventures together. I remember that Yazhi used to call Mari how did she call? Long cricket, because Mari was so tall. She was still growing, but she had these long legs, and Yazhi used to call her Long Cricket. She doesn't call her that anymore. And Mari used to call Yazhi a lab rat or a lab mouse with an overdeveloped brain. And that's because when Yazhi arrived and she was so different, as you know already from the series, she was so different, and the Taygetans didn't understand her exactly, so she was under a lot of examination. They were studying her, even medically. They were studying her DNA, and so Mari used to call Yazhi a lab rat with an overdeveloped brain. Of course, that was in the past. That was about 2-3 years ago. Now the situation changed drastically for Mari mostly, as Yazhi continues to be her 9-year-old self and playing around. Now I'm going to share with you a conversation with Athena that was from 2021, the end, where she's describing 2 situations, 2 mischiefs that Yazhi and Mari both were involved in. Yes, as you see, Mari is now sick, but as you see here, she used to play a lot. She used to play a lot with Yazhi. She was really very carefree, and very fast she got these huge responsibilities on her shoulders. This is very important, as you know, in my post that I already published. Very important for Mari to still continue some of that carefree self. I think it's important for every one of us to still maintain and attend to that inner child and play and just enjoy simple things. Because as you will see here, this is what she did. And then suddenly she became a queen and all these big serious responsibilities. But let's go to the conversation. This is Sophia Swaruu describing two situations they were both involved in.
Originally in English, November 2021. That was Mari's prank. Yaz just followed her this time for a change, because they always seem to come out of Yazhi. And they didn't get hurt? I think it's hard to do this on soap. No, but they could have had an accident or caused someone else to slip and get hurt. And they didn't think about how they would clean that up afterwards. So what happened? How did they clean up? ARIEN instructed them to clean it, but they couldn't clean it themselves. The cleaning robots couldn't either, because the little wheels were just spinning and spinning. So we had to clean it ourselves. Kasia, ARIEN, Seni, and me. Aneka partly, but we didn't let her, because she shouldn't crouch down because of her eye problem. But only foam and more foam was coming out, and everything was wet on the floor. We cleaned it up with a bucket and a sponge. Oh, poor things. It had to take a while to clean it up. Yes, it took a long time. The hallway is about 30 meters long by about 2 meters wide. That's why they wanted to skate there. Maybe it would be better without water and just wipe it off with a dry cloth. Yes, that's partly how we did it. But the problem is that the girls poured water with the soap. They both have roller skates. Why don't they just put them on? Because it's more challenging that way. You always have to add difficulty levels, I guess. Well, if it's about mischiefs, the previous one was much worse. I don't know if you've heard about it. The one in the hangar. Aneka told us that they went up in a hangar. But in detail? Aneka told it, but without details. They started to pull each other's pigtails. And then they started running after each other, reaching for each other's pigtails to pull them. It's just that those corridors or scaffolding are high. They could have fallen from there. And Aneka yelled and yelled, but they didn't listen to her. Aneka was already thinking about how to proceed to stabilize them medically in case they fell, if they survived. The height is about 3 stories up there. Yes, they can get hurt or get stuck there. Some of those scaffolds or metal walkways go over parked fighter craft. They are for service cranes and all that. It's no place for little girls to play. Anne was scared to death, so much so that to stop the girls from their madness, she resorted to pulling the red alarm handle in the hangar, the one that sets off sirens and alarms and turns on red lights that spin around and alarms the whole ship that there is a serious problem in the hangar, like fire. And the 2 crazy girls like chimpanzees, screaming and running. When they heard the alarm, they went to the railing to see what it was about, as if taking advantage of the fact that they were up high to see the emergency that had occurred from above, without realizing that the emergency was the 2 of them. And then the Hashmalim came running and took them down, and ARIEN and I scolded them, mostly for ignoring Aneka. And how did they bring them down? By scolding them all together. They came down by themselves. And why was Aneka there and not others? Because someone had just arrived from the Viera, and they asked Aneka to accompany them to the hangar to unload their suitcases and things. There was no one else in the hangar. And they took advantage of Anekita to let them climb on the surface scaffolding to watch from there. But the one who started that mess was Sophia, Yazhi. She said it was no big deal, that nothing would ever happen to them, that they wouldn't fall. But Aneka did get so scared that she still doesn't forgive them. But that's what I was saying before. Yazhi is still a little girl, whether she has all that knowledge in her head or not, and her knowing all that only aggravates or increases her capacity for mischief. I think it's her way of coping better with what she carries being what she is. She knows that by entering that specific terminal, a child, so to speak, she will have these distractions. Adults don't have the luxury of having fun like that. And when you are having fun like that, you are totally focused on what you're doing. Kids are totally in the moment, and that's when you forget. It helps you relax, I think. So the way she is, it serves her better to be a little girl. It makes me wonder what will happen when she grows up.
Okay, I do remember also Aneka talking to us about this, and she was very frustrated, very annoyed, because she was very worried about them at the time. Yazhi continues to skate, as I am aware of, like even from this year, from March 2024, she was skating, as Athena reports, she was skating on talcum powder. She was sock skating in a passageway yesterday, says Athena, with talcum powder on the floor, which is dangerous powder, and she was very happy. And then Kila and Senetre slipped and fell down, but they are okay. So, as you will understand now, the Tagetans like to monitor Yazhi very much because she's always into these pranks and situations, and a situation in which she can get hurt or she can get someone else in trouble. And this links to the next fragment, next situation that Yazhi is describing. It's very short, and this she told me in 2023. And this links to the fact that Tagetans like to monitor her. I'm gonna just leave you with it.
2023. I discovered a tracker inside my toy airplanes. They want to know what I do and where I am all the time. They say is that they worry I might get hurt.
Really? Did you put it in some fun place? I would. Put it somewhere like in a Error's fridge or something, as if you were robbing cookies.
Yes. I am still thinking about where else to put it. I tied it to a mogier. But I repent. That was this morning. The mogs are close to the ground now, because they are feeding. But come late afternoon, they will climb the trees again.
So, yeah, she found the tracker in her toy. That was funny because they want to know where she is at each moment. They know they can't fully control her because, you know, she can teleport, she can disappear, this and that. But they do what they can, as much as they can, to try to know what she is up to at all times. I don't know how this ended, actually, that story. If they got annoyed, if they found it in one of those moggies. I guess nothing special happened because Yazhi didn't say anything afterwards. But now, I'm going to share with you something else. And this is something more recent. This is from this year, and this is what Athena told me that Yazhi did. This is quite interesting. Quite interesting, and it involves webcams. Webcams on a ship. Yazhi, webcams, what was she up to? Let's find out.
February 2024. Yazhi got hold on a little square web camera and she replicated it 600 times and planted those all over the ship, driving us all crazy. We couldn't know which ones worked and which ones didn't. Most were working, and the Taigetans were paranoid as never before. And they were scolding Yazhi, and she resisted doing it even more. They didn't know what that was for. It happened a few months ago.
But what's the point of that if you have AI ship cameras everywhere anyway?
The point is that she could see and hear the Taigetans outside their systems. And yes, they could discover the cameras using sensors. But Yazhi planted them faster than what the Taigetans were removing. And then, after over a very stressful month of finding cameras even in private places, including bedrooms and bathrooms, Yazhi revealed what they were for. Something that looks like pure senseless mischief turned out to be a lesson for people here. Yazhi had been insisting over the last year that sending drones to look at what starseeds were doing is not ethical. And she was giving the Taigetans a little of their own medicine. As below, so is above. You look at starseeds peeking into their windows, and I do the same with you. And all I need is one little human webcam, to replicate, of course, as she said.
What did the Taigetans discover about me or someone close to me? Spill, Tina.
Honestly, everyone of concern has drones above. That's why Yazhi planted all those webcams.
But you peek through the windows and listen?
The Taigetans claim to be ethical enough not to do so, or only when needed.
Define when needed, please.
Some sort of important research, or when something indicates the starseed is in danger.
Did she finally stop with the cameras? Did they learn the lesson? And please don't stop spying on me. I like that. I give you full permission.
Okay. And yes, she stopped there.
So that's a story about the webcams. Quite amazing. I am sure, 100% of course, that there are hundreds of these stories still untold by them. Of course, they're not going to be there sitting and telling us everything that happens on the ship and everything that Yazhi does. So these are examples of what she's doing. And all these different mischiefs, as they are called, this is very common for the kids, usually. I used to do stuff like that. For example, with my cousin, we used to, because we are the similar age, and people used to tell us that we are similar looking. So we used to, for example, switch clothes in some family reunion, switch clothes and pretend that we are each other. Or like we were at the dinner and we would suddenly switch all the lights off, and then we would switch things on the table, things like that. But the worst mischief that I did, and this is funny because it actually involves scaffolding as well. What's up with the scaffolding? Okay, when I was about 12 or 13, and this is actually scary when I think about this now. When I was about 12 or 13 years old, something like that, we were alone in the house with my brother in the apartment. I lived on the 6th floor in these huge Russian buildings. And it was raining and it was dark outside. And my brother locked me in the balcony. I don't know, we were fighting, brother and sister, only 1 year apart. He locked me in the balcony and I was knocking and he didn't want to let me in. At that time, outside of the apartment building, on the side of the balcony, there was a scaffolding placed because they were painting the building. No one was working at the time. It was the evening, late, dark, and raining. So I got this idea. I think you know where I'm going with this. I look at the scaffolding. I'm looking at the situation. I'm analyzing. I'm looking down. I'm thinking, I think I can do this. I felt this like a challenge to overcome. Like, he locked me in the balcony. He's not going to win this. I'm going to win this situation. I'm going to show you. So I went outside of the balcony, 6th floor. I was like 12, 13. And I put my feet on the first railings and I slowly started to go down. As I said, it was raining. It was wet. A neighbor saw me in one of the windows. I remember going down very slowly, carefully. I was so excited about this, but so scared, nervous, and excited at the same time. Very interesting feeling I never had before. And one of the neighbors, he was in the kitchen. He saw me. Apparently, he reported me to the parents later on, and they beat me. Basically, yeah. At that time, you know, the parents were not like today. I got sometimes beaten with a belt. Very, very few occasions. I was a good kid, but this time my mom did that. Okay, so I was going down. I reached the ground, no problem, and I went down. I went around. I rang a bell. My brother opened. It was a shock to him, of course. I said, "Ha! I got you." I remember this moment very, very, very well, and it's something that marked me for the future as some kind of like a challenging situation to overcome, since actually that time I like challenging situations. I like to resolve difficult situations in which I need to apply my creativity and my resources. You know, like for example, I'm lost somewhere in Sahara or something. I am not afraid of these situations. I like them because they bring me to life and they bring my creativity to life, the resourcefulness, you know. Okay, how do I now get myself out of this pickle? So anyway, going back to the scaffolding, there is something about scaffoldings here. I did that as I was a kid, more or less the same age as Mari and Yazhi, and they got themselves into the scaffolding situation as well. So this is it for now. Thank you very much for watching this video. We are going to continue with other videos now. Stay tuned. Thank you very much for your support, always ongoing, and greetings to everybody out there in the world. Bye bye.